My spoiled nephew crashed my brand new car, laughing, relax, you can just buy another one. When I demanded he pay for the damages, my sister sneered, he's just a kid, you're overreacting. The judge read the lawsuit papers and declared, then he can pay with his college fund. Their smug smiles vanished instantly. I worked hard to build a comfortable life in Chicago. After years of saving, I finally bought a brand new Tesla Model S. It wasn't just a car, it was a symbol of my dedication and perseverance. One Saturday morning, my sister Laura called. Her 17-year-old son, Jake, had recently gotten his driver's license and was eager to drive a real car. Laura asked if Jake could take my Tesla for a spin around the neighborhood. I hesitated. The thought of an inexperienced teen driving my new car made me uneasy. I politely declined, explaining my concerns. Laura seemed to understand, and we ended the call on good terms. The following weekend, I had to attend a business conference in Milwaukee. Trusting my family, I left my house keys with Laura so she could water my plants and collect my mail. This was a routine we'd done before, and I had no reason to suspect any misuse of this trust. Upon returning home Sunday evening, I noticed something was off. My Tesla wasn't in the driveway. Panic set in. I was about to call Laura when she pulled up with Jake. Behind them was my car on a tow truck, its front end smashed. Jake stepped out, grinning. Hey, Uncle Mike. Took the Tesla out for a spin. Had a little mishap, but no biggie. Relax, you can just buy another one. I was speechless. Turning to Laura, I expected her to reprimand Jake or apologize. Instead, she chuckled, "Boys will be boys, Mike. He's just a kid, you're overreacting." I took a deep breath, trying to process the situation. Laura, I told you I wasn't comfortable with Jake driving my car. Yet, you gave him the keys without my permission. This isn't just about the car, it's about trust. Laura waved her hand dismissively. Come on, Mike. It's just a car. Jake was excited. No harm done. I pointed to the damaged vehicle. No harm done? The car is wrecked. This will cost thousands to repair. Jake rolled his eyes. Chill, Uncle Mike. It's not like you can't afford it. Frustrated, I said, that's not the point, Jake. Actions have consequences. You need to take responsibility. Laura crossed her arms. He's a teenager, Mike. Teenagers make mistakes. You should be more understanding. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Understanding? Laura, he took my car without permission and crashed it. How am I supposed to be okay with that? She sighed. Look, we'll cover some of the repair costs, but don't expect Jake to pay for everything. He's preparing for college. I shook my head. That's not acceptable. Jake needs to learn that actions have consequences. He should be responsible for the damages. Laura's face hardened. If you want to take this to court, go ahead. But remember, he's family. Feeling betrayed and frustrated, I decided to pursue legal action. I filed a lawsuit against Jake for the repair costs. In court, the judge listened to both sides. After reviewing the evidence, she looked at Jake. Young man, actions have consequences. Given the evidence and your disregard for your uncle's property, I rule that you are responsible for the full cost of the damages. If your parents are unwilling or unable to pay, the amount will be deducted from your college fund. Laura and Jake's smug expressions vanished. The reality of the situation hit them hard. The ruling caused a rift in our family. Laura accused me of tearing the family apart, while I maintained that it was about teaching Jake responsibility. The incident created tension that took years to mend. Reflecting on the ordeal, I realized the importance of setting boundaries and holding loved ones accountable. While family ties are invaluable, respect and responsibility are the threads that keep them intact. After the court ruling, things got worse. My phone didn't stop buzzing for the next few days. Messages poured in from family members I hadn't heard from in months. Some were supportive. Most were furious. Apparently, Laura had started a full-on smear campaign behind my back. She was calling me selfish, vindictive, saying I destroyed Jake's future over a car. She made it sound like I'd dragged her poor, innocent son into the courtroom just to humiliate him. I didn't reply. I didn't even defend myself. I figured people would see the truth eventually. I was wrong. I started getting disinvited from family gatherings, birthdays, barbecues, even Thanksgiving. My cousins stopped talking to me. My aunt told me she was disappointed I'd taken things so far. I reminded her Jake had broken into my house, stolen my car, and laughed about it like it was a joke. She said, yes, but he's just a kid. Family should forgive. That word, forgive, started to feel like a knife. About a month later, I found out Laura had told Jake he didn't have to pay the judgment. She was encouraging him to ignore it completely, saying I wouldn't really enforce it. I guess she thought I'd eventually let it go. That pissed me off more than anything. I didn't sue to make a point and back down. I sued because nobody was taking responsibility, and clearly, they still weren't. So, I took the next legal step. I filed paperwork to garnish Jake's college savings account. It wasn't something I wanted to do. But if they weren't going to follow the ruling, I had no other option. That's when everything exploded. Tom, Laura's husband, showed up at my front door one night, red-faced and shaking with rage. He didn't knock. He pounded. I opened the door halfway, and he pushed it the rest of the way open. You smug son of a bitch, he growled. You're ruining my boy's life. I stood my ground. Your boy ruined my car and laughed about it. Tom jabbed a finger in my face. You could have let it go. You chose to destroy your family instead. I looked him dead in the eye. He stole my car, Tom. And you all acted like it was a game. This isn't about a car. It's about respect. Tom didn't say anything. Just stared at me like he wanted to hit me, then stormed off. The next morning, I found that someone had keyed my Tesla again. Deep gouges ran across the doors and hood. This time, they scratched the word traitor into the paint. That's when I installed security cameras around my entire house. A few days later, footage caught Jake sneaking into my driveway at 2 a.m., hoodie up, trying to flatten my tires. I didn't call the cops. I sent the video straight to Laura's inbox with a one-line message. Still just a kid? She didn't reply. But Jake never came near my property again. The damage was done, though. The rest of the family doubled down. I heard they were calling me paranoid now. He's always been uptight. He never really fit in. He holds grudges. That last one was my favorite. As if I'd just imagined the theft, the crash, the court case, the vandalism. What stung the most was my mom. She didn't say much through all of it, but one night she called. She sounded tired. Sad. Michael, she said. Was it really worth it? I didn't even know how to answer. But I didn't stop. Instead of letting the story fade, I started documenting everything: photos, texts, repair receipts, screenshots of Facebook comments from family trashing me, even the footage of Jake trying to vandalize my car. I compiled it into a file. Then I contacted a lawyer again. This time, I wasn't suing for property damage. This time, I was building a case for harassment. I knew it would escalate everything. But something in me had shifted. I wasn't going to let it slide. Not anymore. They wanted to keep pushing? Fine. A week after I talked to my lawyer about the harassment case, I got an unexpected letter in the mail. Not an email. A real, physical letter. Thick envelope, no return address. Inside was a printout of screenshots, private texts between me and a coworker from 2 years ago. Stuff I'd long forgotten. Personal conversations, harmless jokes, a few offhand comments I'd never imagined seeing again. But now, there they were, printed and underlined with a highlighter like they were evidence in some trial. Attached was a note written in all caps. You think you're clean? Maybe we start digging into your life next. I stared at the papers for a long time. I checked the postmark. It came from Evanston. Laura and Tom lived in Evanston. I didn't react the way they probably hoped I would. I didn't panic or call to beg them to stop. I scanned the whole thing and sent it to my attorney with a message: we need to talk. That same night, I received a blocked call. When I picked up, no one spoke for a few seconds. Then, a soft voice whispered, "You're gonna regret this," and hung up. Things were going beyond petty now. They weren't just mad, I'd hit a nerve. I'd challenged their control over how our family functioned. They were used to people backing down. I wasn't backing down. A few days later, someone filed a complaint at my job. HR called me in. The report claimed I had a pattern of hostile behavior and made my coworkers uncomfortable. I asked to see the report. I couldn't, they said. It was anonymous. I knew exactly who was behind it. Fortunately, I had a clean record and a manager who trusted me. The complaint didn't stick. Still, it was enough to shake me. Enough to make me realize they were willing to come after my life, not just my car, not just my money. Meanwhile, Jake's college plans started falling apart. The funds that were supposed to help him go to the University of Illinois had taken a big hit after the court garnishment. Word started spreading in their neighborhood. Laura and Tom were complaining to anyone who'd listened that I had robbed their son's future. They framed it like I'd stolen from Jake instead of making him pay for what he did. But then the real twist happened. I got a message on Facebook from someone I didn't recognize. A woman named Denise. Her profile picture was vague, just flowers. But her message stopped me cold. You don't know me, but I've known Laura and Tom a long time. I used to date Tom. You might want to know what they're really hiding. At first, I thought it was a scam. I didn't reply. But the next day, she messaged again, this time with photos, receipts, screenshots, Tom's name on an Airbnb reservation in another state. During the same week, he claimed to be out of town on a work trip. And the woman in the selfies with him wasn't Laura. I stared at the evidence. This wasn't some random rumor. It was real. This woman, Denise, was the other woman. She went on to tell me that Tom had been seeing her off and on for over a year. That Laura didn't know. That Tom had lied to everyone about where their money was going, especially after the judgment against Jake. He was hiding income, redirecting funds into a separate account under Denise's name. I didn't know what to do with that information. It wasn't my business. Except, maybe it was. Laura had dragged my name through the dirt, turned half the family against me, and now I had evidence that her perfect little home life wasn't so perfect after all. I still haven't decided what to do with it. But something about it changed me. I wasn't angry anymore. I was calm, focused. I saw them for what they really were, desperate people clinging to an image they couldn't maintain. And the more I stood my ground, the more their cracks showed. A few days later, Jake messaged me himself. Not Laura. Not Tom. Jake. It was one line. I'm sorry. That's all it said. No excuses. No emoji. Just those 2 words. I haven't responded yet. I don't know if I will. Because while all this was unfolding, something else came to light, something no one expected. Jake's apology sat in my inbox for a week before I opened it again. I read it over and over. It was short, no explanation, just, I'm sorry. I didn't know if it was real guilt or pressure from someone else. But it didn't matter anymore. It was too late. While that message sat unread, something else came to the surface. One of my coworkers, someone I've known for years, pulled me aside. Quiet guy, keeps to himself mostly. He told me he saw someone asking questions about me, personal questions, outside our office building about 2 weeks back. Said it was a teenager and a woman, showing a photo of me, asking about my car, my relationships, and if I'd ever been in trouble. He said he didn't say anything, but it bothered him. That was the final straw. My attorney and I filed the harassment suit. Not just against Jake this time. Against Laura. Against Tom. With documented stalking, false workplace accusations, vandalism, and now attempted defamation through third parties, it was enough. They didn't see it coming. The court dates dragged on for months. They tried to push back, deny everything, downplay the screenshots, say the voice on the call wasn't Jake, that the keyed car footage was blurry. But the messages, the threats, the workplace report, it all added up. And then, it all fell apart for them in 1 week. First, Denise, the woman Tom had been cheating with, got subpoenaed. She didn't hesitate to spill everything in court. Her testimony confirmed Tom's hidden accounts, the money movements, the lies he told to Laura and even to his son. That's when the courtroom got quiet. Laura looked like she'd been slapped. Then, just days after Denise's appearance, the court ruled in my favor. A full restraining order against all three of them. Harassment charges stuck. A hefty fine. And because Tom had used his personal business to funnel and hide money during the college fund garnishment, he was now being investigated for financial misconduct. Real legal consequences. Possibly criminal. Jake sat there, pale, silent, watching his parents unravel in real time. And me? I felt nothing. Just relief. I thought that would be the end. But a week later, Laura tried one last move. She called my mom. My mom, who had stayed mostly neutral this whole time, finally lost it. She told Laura she was ashamed. That she raised her better. That if anyone destroyed the family, it wasn't me, it was her. For raising Jake to think actions had no cost. For encouraging lies. For turning the rest of the family against their own blood. My mom told her not to call again. And then she called me. She apologized. Said she should have stood up for me sooner. I didn't say much. I thanked her. That was enough. The rest of the family started reaching out slowly, one by one. A few cousins said they were wrong. A few friends apologized for believing the drama. I accepted what I could. Ignored what I couldn't. Jake hasn't messaged again. Laura and Tom? They sold their house. Quietly. Left Evanston. Someone told me they moved south. Somewhere cheaper. Jake didn't get into the university he wanted. He's going to community college now. Paying out of pocket. Maybe he'll turn it around. Maybe not. As for me, I kept the Tesla. Every scratch is gone. It shines like the day I bought it. But I kept one little detail. In the glove box, I carry the court ruling. A copy of the lawsuit documents. And that Facebook message from Jake. Not out of spite, but as a reminder. That trust, once broken, never comes back the same. And if you laugh while burning someone else's hard work, you better pray they don't rebuild stronger.